Daily Manna from the Torah by Dr. Ketriel Blad. Shalom, dear friends. This is the third aliyah of Parashat Chayei Sarah, the lives of Sarah. This aliyah is found in Genesis 24, from verse 10 to verse 26. Today's reading will be on chapter 24, verse 26. And the man bowed down his head and worshipped the Lord. How are Abraham's followers? Abraham's most trusted servant went to Mesopotamia to look for a wife for Yitzhak. He carried with him 10 camels loaded with all kinds of goods. With Yitzhak's birth, Eliezer had been displaced from Abraham's plans. Before Yitzhak, Abraham was planning on leaving him all his possessions, chapter 15, verse 2. But the Eternal changed Abraham's plans and said that Yitzhak would be the heir, chapter 15, verse 4, chapter 21, verses 10 and 12. The inheritance included not only material goods, but also something much more important: an immovable faith and eternal promises and blessings. Eliezer had grown up with the faith and within the spiritual atmosphere of his master. Abraham trusted him completely because he knew that he was absolutely loyal. This servant wasn't after his own interests while serving in his mission as shaliach, an emissary. The only thing he cared for was to fulfill the will of the one who had sent him. And in this particular case, he knew that it was not just a regular mission, but an important part of the divine plan for the world's future redemption. It was very important that Yitzhak had a heavenly sent wife. That's why the servant didn't trust his own discerning abilities, but he trusted the Eternal and acted by faith, as he had learned from his master. When he arrived in his destination, he made the camels kneel by a well, chapter 24, verse 11. Camels need to kneel in order to rest. The fact that the Torah mentions this can teach us something in an allegoric manner. The Hebrew word for kneeling is barach, which is related to berach, knee. The word barach also means to bless, chapter 24, verse 1. It is the word we use when we bless the Eternal, Baruch Hashem. Baruch means blessed. The interesting part is that blessing is closely related to knee. Abraham had learned this truth and had also taught it to those who lived in his household. He who knows to bend his knee is able to receive blessings. The one who humbles himself will be lifted up. The fact that Eliezer made the 10 camels kneel teaches us in allegoric form about what Abraham had been teaching his followers. The same way Eliezer had his servants, the camels, kneel, so Abraham had been teaching his followers to humble themselves and to kneel before the Eternal. Abraham was the friend of the Eternal, and he knew what the Eternal liked and what he wanted most from man. He knew that the Eternal is seeking for worshippers, as it is written in John 4:23. But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father seeks such to worship him. Abraham had won many souls, chapter 12, verse 5, and he taught all of them to be worshippers. The only desire in his soul was to satisfy the desires of his Lord, and that's why he took time to teach his people to become worshippers who knew how to incline their hearts and bend their knees before the Eternal. When Abraham's servant had received a clear answer to his mission of taking a wife for Yitzhak from among his master's relatives, he bowed down to earth and worshipped the Eternal. Be a worshipper of the Eternal. Get used to bend not only your knees, but also to incline your heart before Him. In that way, you'll be a son, follower of Abraham, who follows his faith because it is those of faith who are sons of Abraham. Romans 4:12, Galatians 3:7. May you be blessed together with Abraham, your father. Shalom.